There's yet another challenge that I've seen to the Electoral Act, and that also has to do with politicians. The new electoral law, of course, talks about the need to promote internal democracy within the political parties, which is why it has specified the mode through which candidates of political parties should emerge. Do you see political parties also wholeheartedly embracing the provisions of this new law?
You see, let me say this also as a warning to all political parties. With this advancement in technology, when you go about and keep handpicking candidates because somebody likes them or they work with somebody or they're somebody's PA, there's no way you can rig the election to be difficult. So if the other party feels a strong candidate and there's electronic transmission from the polling unit, if you are waiting for your talks for LUGA to go and put in a figure, it is no longer going to work. Even when you go and put it, it will be reviewed and reversed. So therefore, it calls for political parties to be committed in the process that leads to them choosing their candidate, or else you're going to suffer badly for that particular action. And again, it's very painful that people go about campaign, reach out to people, and one individual sees one place and say, I will handpick somebody. To me, it is insulting in this time and age. Are you getting me? It's not the right. And again, the Electoral Act has a provision. If the political parties in the process that adopts in choosing their candidate does not confirm with the provisions of the law, and somebody goes to court and challenges, and the court voids that process, that political party will not be on the ballot. So if political parties think it's like the old days, go and do abracadabra primary, go and dash your ticket to your girlfriend or to your P or whatever, and somebody goes to court, you will not be on that ballot. That is what the new law have said. So therefore, you must conduct your primaries. And INEC also must insist that the laws are full. And again, it's good that the guideline that was released, which is also the new guideline, it requires that political parties should send the list of electoral officials that will do the primary. I think 7 days. That was used in Anambra. They have started using it already. 7 days to the date of election. They must publish the venue. These are things that will help this internal democracy you're talking about. People wait until Friday. They don't even know the venue of the primary. But this new guideline is not saying that you must place adverts in national papers showing that this is the venue where that primary is going to hold 7 days to the time. And if you want to change it, you must give INEC 3 days to the time before you change it. And also the people that will conduct that primary, you are going to make them write them and send to INEC. So not tomorrow you go and bring somebody to say he has done the primary. And then he said the delegate list that will be used, because that's another place that lists all
as if we are using indirect primaries.
Up to 2 hours to primary.
They still drawing up the list.
At the list. So now INEC in the new guideline is now saying you must send the list of delegates, I think 14 days or 7 days to the commission. All of them. This started with Anambra. You must send it to the commission so they will see. And every aspirant who wants to reach out to those delegates can apply and be able to know who is the delegate. Even if you don't agree, you can start your appeal and your agitation. Maybe you have somebody that is not supposed to be a delegate that is on the delegate. So all this improvement will help political parties to do the right thing. Because if you leave political parties on their own, most of them will not do the right thing.
They like to operate without law.
Yes, exactly.
If you allow them, they will rather operate without law.
So these are developments that happen. And also, I saw that when you were talking about the issues of independence candidacy that seems to have sold in both chambers.
Yes, we'll talk about independent candidates now, just after this one. This one I want to put up now is whether, because part of the statement you released when President Buhari signed the Electoral Act is that 2023 is an opportunity for the opposition to take over. And I'm just wondering whether your party too has not seen challenges in all of these new requirements. For instance, if you are going to be using a direct method to choose your candidates, it imposes a lot of responsibilities on you. You have to have a credible register of members. That's a challenge to your party. Even if you are using the indirect system, there's a challenge there because of the elaborate process that the new law has also stated out. Now, your expression of optimism, there is an opportunity for your party. But then you added a caveat to it. The caveat is actually what I'd like you to speak to, which is that if they field popular candidates. Now, fielding popular candidates mean complying with the law and all of that.
Yes. And that's why I start by saying, why the opposition is excited is because we are inspired by the body language of our new national chairman, Senator Yochai, who has said clearly that we're going to abide by the provisions of the party constitution, the party guidelines, and the electoral act, and we're going to return PDP back to the winning ways of 1999. And if we go by those commitments, you know how those things were done in 1999. Popular candidates emerged, due process was followed. People who want to run an election reach out to party members, and not for 2 or 3 individuals to sit one place, that even after primary, people's name kept on changing. So whereby even few hours to submission, INEC names keeps on changing left, right, and center. And what INEC has also done on the issue of signing the list of nominated candidates, which is the chairman and the secretary. Now 1 or 2 individuals cannot just go and change the list of somebody who has won, unless the chairman will now connive with the secretary, or the secretary with the chairman, which I think will not happen in this case. And like I said before, every of these actions you don't follow have consequences. If you conduct a primary election that did not follow the provisions of the law, you don't have a valid 3-man ad hoc delegate Congress, you do not have the venue and all those things published as required by the new regulations and guidelines, and what any of your party member goes to court, the new law recognizes the fact that you have breached the provisions of the law, and then you are not going to be on the ballot. And that is a huge price for a political party to pay not to be on the ballot. So, and I don't think the opposition, with the opportunities they have now, would try to drag itself into those internal, political problems that can lead them to not having a stable primary and a stable outcome. And like I said before, the assessment is that with a level playing field, the opposition always have an advantage, because people always want change, wants better way of doing things. Like, as you know, when you are coming here, you see what's happening in the fuel stations. This is a problem that the president said he has solved like 2-3 years ago. Now it's obvious that nothing has happened. You saw the situation in security, you saw the situation in education, you saw the situation in revenue that is dropping, and high borrowing plans every now and then. You saw a weakening of democratic institutions. Now all these things, when you put them together, I believe that the people may want a better option. And if that is the case, with a level playing field, with electronic transmission of results, with electronic accreditation, and then I think opposition has an opportunity to reclaim power. That's why I express that excitement. But I put that caveat that if the right thing is not done on the issue of zoning, on the issue of whether we are throwing it open, on the issue of whether we are zoning it, on the issue of venue of our primary, on the issue of our 3-man ad hoc delegate, who are the national delegate, so on and so forth, if we don't put these things in order, then we are going to have a problem that can lead to litigations, and those litigations can even deny us the chance, God forbid, of being on the ballot. So it calls for more commitment and more sacrifice from party members. The horizon is so bright for the opposition if internal democracy can be protected and defended, as our national chairman Ugochinyere has assured us.
On the part of INEC, are you satisfied with what you are seeing coming from INEC so far? Because a few hours after the president signed the electoral act, INEC swung into action, met and quickly reviewed his earlier plans for 2023, and it has rolled out the guidelines for 2023. If primaries are held by, I think, from April or so.
Yes.
It's a long period allowed to settle whatever issues may arise from
litigations and other. And I used to in the past do a kind of blanket criticism of INEC because of we had issues with them during the battle of 2019. But now I've started to have a second thought on some of the issues. I look at processes. Now, one of the processes that even before the president signed the electoral act, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, has started tinkering with the idea of electronic transmission of results, electronic accreditation. Yeah. So even the big salute should even go to him that engineered that process.
More like forcing the hand
of the government, the lawmakers, and the president. INEC stood their ground. Unlike before, where INEC used to be 100% what the government wants. That electronic transmission, that electronic accreditation, they tried it in different states in the country before this law was now signed to make it a legitimate instrument. So with that commitment shown by the Electoral Commission led by Professor Mahmoud, I will now say, okay, we are watching. Let's see how you are now going to implement the larger, laws that have been given to you, especially how you deal with people who want to subvert that process.